Okay, so Be'ezras Hashem, we're continuing our series of shirim on the Zohar on the Parsha, illuminating the conscious level of the text with the unconscious secret creativity of the Zohar HaKadosh. This teaching in the Zohar is going to be found specifically in the place of Vayichi, in Parshas Vayichi, where it's Vayichi Yaakov Be'eretz Mitzrayim Shavasrei Shana. That Yaakov Avinu lived in Mitzrayim, that place of concealment, but it was specifically there that he experienced the Shavasrei Shana, the 17 years, the 17, which is the gematria of good. And it's specifically in Mitzrayim, in the Mitzrayim, in the constriction and the concealment, that ultimately HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to reveal himself to Yaakov Avinu. And how it's possible to find specifically at the brink of death, at the place of Misas Yaakov, or V'yasov Raglav Elamita, where Yaakov Avinu lies down and he leaves this world. How it's specifically there that we encounter the secret of Vayichi, that there's life that emerges specifically out of the Saf HaMavas, out of the encounter with death, because the encounter with death forces us to dig deep down into the very fabric of what death is, where we come to understand that there's a Chaim La'olam. Like Rabbi Shimon says on the Idrizuta on his deathbed, Chaim ad Olam. And like Chazal tell us about Yaakov Avinu, that Yaakov Avinu lo meis. Ah, he was buried. Ah, they gave eulogies for him. Okay, that's a different element. Something died, something passed away, something descended down into concealment. But don't think that death means absolute death. And that's the secret of Vayichi Yaakov Be'eretz Mitzrayim, that it's Vayichi, that Yaakov uncovered life specifically at the end. It's the secret of Ketz Chai, the secret of Yitzchak, the secret of the Geula that comes about specifically at the Saf HaMavas, in the place where a person feels the pain of Mavas. It's specifically there that a person has the ability to uncover the secret of Vayichi Yaakov, that there's life, there's a life that is saturated there. There's the ability to get up from the very limited self and to realize that I can survive those things which I felt I couldn't survive. I could overcome those things which I didn't feel that I could overcome. I could push forward in those places that I didn't feel I could push forward. Every moment, every prevention is a moment of death, of progress. And in that death-bringing expression, which places a limit to progress, if I can overcome that limit and overcome myself and be mitgaber over myself, or Ezuhu Gibar, Koivish Yitzro, to conquer more ground by utilizing inner strength that was not yet revealed to overcome the prevention in the aspect of Lechatchila River, so I'm revealing more and more life. So Tochazi, come and see. First and foremost, people don't look, people don't know, and people don't pay attention to this secret. Meaning to say that halavai, if a person were to pay attention to the secret, and if the Zohar Kadosh is shrieing over the fact that people are not paying attention, by definition, it means that it's roi to each and every person to pay attention to this, because otherwise, how could we be held accountable? Or how could there be some element of pathos emergent from the fact that I'm not paying attention? If it's not shaykh to me, then what value is there in saying that, oh, I should have paid attention to it? Elama, if I should have paid attention to it, that means I can pay attention to it in each and every moment. And the Zohar Kadosh says in these three Lashonos, which correspond to the three Moichin of Chachma Min and Das, that a person doesn't look, a person doesn't know, and a person doesn't pay attention. B'shaisa debar kudshabrichu la'adam. In the moment that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created a human being, v'oiker lo biyikiru ilah, and he praised him. HaKadosh Baruch Hu placed the human being on a pedestal. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to the human being, to Adam Arishon, which is to all of us, that we have the capacity to be the crowning jewel of existence, to be shoylit, to be makusher, to be miyachim, to have ahava and yira and gadfin that bring us up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ba'aminela istav kebe, begin the yishtachich yechidoi. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted the individual, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted the person to connect to him. HaKadosh Baruch Hu desired dvekus, true chayim. Kirvas Aleichem Litov, the truest expression of Chaim, of Chai La'olam, of Ubacharta B'Chaim is Dvekus to the Shorish of Chaim, which is to the Chai Ha'olamim, to the source of vitality, to the source of all life that pulsates through all things, which is the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The secret of Chaim, the Or HaChaim, the light of life that descends down from the infinite light at every moment, giving sustenance and vitality and upkeeping each and everything. And Isha Israeli tzarich tamid listakel b'aseichel shel kol davar, as Rabbi Nachman says. The Jewish individual needs to perpetually be seeking out the Chachma, Tichyas Baila, the secret of Chaim, the secret of Chachma that exists everywhere, the hiskashrus that I can have to the Shem Havaya, to the secret of Ma, to the Mahus, to the Koyach Ma, to see existence and to see the source of life inside of it. That was the goal of the human being, to be mistavik to Chaim. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us the ability to eat from the Eitz Chaim. Begin the Yishtachich Yichidoi, because the individual was singular. The individual was singularly unique, singularly capable of connecting to the Yechido Shel Olam, which is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ubeliba yechidai, and with a singular heart, with a heart that is connected in one fell swoop of a chad ketira iktariu, like Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says on his deathbed, that it was a singular expression of connectivity. No deviation, simple, yashar, from the bottom all the way up to the top, the Kav Ha'emsai, from Malchus all the way up to Kesser and higher. That Yesoid, that Shorish of Chaim, that secret of Yosef Atzadik, who's the Hamshacha of Yaakov Avinu. Ma Zaro b'Chaim, Afu b'Chaim. The Hamshacha of Yaakov Avinu's life is through the Koyach of Yosef Atzadik, through the Koyach of the Shiftei Ka, of that living power. And that comes from the Yashrus of the Adam, the simplicity of it all, the ability to connect singularly in each and every moment. And because the individual had that ability, HaKadosh Baruch Hu desired that from the individual. Ube'eser de dveikusa yechidah, deloy ishtani. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu desired that this singular creature with a singular heart should have the capacity of developing a singular form of connection, and a connection in that place of dveikus, deloy ishtani, that is unchanging. No need for the splitness or the multiplicity of existence or experience to give a person a feeling of life, but a singular chayk nasan v'liya'avor, doing the same thing day in and day out. Chadashim lebekarim rabba munasecha, the secret of tamidius, doing the same thing with a new light, a new illumination, because each moment is new. And when I can uncover the newness of each moment, I don't have to be so focused on the shifting and the changing of the content of experience, because the content of experience can be the same thing over and over and over and over again ad infinitum. If I have a koyach of ischadshus that comes from the secret of chachma, tichias baila, which is the yichidiyus shed the adam, the koyach of chachma, so then there's no need for change. Lo yashtani, there's a menucha muchletas, there's no need for a shift. There's no reversal. Things don't shift from one thing to the next. The desire of HaKadosh Baruch Hu was for there to be one singular development of connectivity, because we were singular and HaKadosh Baruch Hu was singular, and there should be a singular connectivity. Ba'ahu kishura yechida dekulabe is kasher. Don't think that this unchanging nature of the yichud of the Eitz HaChaim, of true life, would be deficient and boring because it doesn't contain any possibility of change. But rather, this kesher yechida, this singular connectivity that HaKadosh Baruch Hu desired for the individual, the kula is kasher. Everything was connected in there. Everything is contained. Halavai, that the way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted us to function, the way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu allowed us to possibly be in the beginning of Gan Eden, was to connect in an aspect of singularity, a singular focus, one nekuda to be mistavik to the nekuda pnimis, which still exists in a person's life. It's the tiny dot in the middle of the base, which the Gra says contains the entirety of the Torah. The Heilige Rishner says that as well. But we don't live in that place because we weren't able to ultimately connect to that place, to that singular point of connection that would contain everything without any need to move and without any need to travel. Menucha muchletas. Haveyu dechsev eitz hachayim b'soy chagan. Pasuk says HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted us to partake of the Eitz HaChaim, to have Chaim an Olam, to have a singular connectivity to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. B'soy chagan, in the center point, a singular point that contains everything. Lebasar sasu ve'orchei debeim nusei. But afterwards, nearly immediately afterwards, the individual transgressed against the path of faithfulness. He deviated away from the path. Satu me'orcha. The natural proclivity of life carried him towards a different end. B'shavku ilani yechidai ilah, mikol ilayin. And it left aside the singular tree of all trees, this ability to be makosher to the Eitz HaChaim. V'asu le'istavka be'eser de'mishtane u'mishapech be'gavana l'gvana. And he uprooted himself from the singular path of connectivity to Chaim. And he chose to connect himself to the path of changes, to the path of shifts, to the path of effort, where there's a reversal from one color to the next. The Heichal HaGavanim HaMishtanim, Ki Gavna. All of the different changes and colors and hues of experience. We chose that path instead of the path of the singular path of the Eitz Chaim. Umetav lebish, and from good to bad, umebish letav, and from bad to good, changes. The nature of this is not the nature of the change from good to bad, which would be the problem, but rather the Zohar Kadosh says, no, it's also the nature of from bad to good also. It's the nature of changes, and the temuros, and the hishafchus, and the changes, and the shifts in a person's life that are where we are connected to the Eitz Hadas Toivara. And it descended from above to below. And we descended down into that place of changes and difficult changes, and we left that singular tree and we entered into that place. of Cheshbonos Rabbim of the Eitz Hadas Asher Asa Elikim Ha'adam Yashar. Kadosh Baruch Hu created the individual Yashar. That's the secret of the Eitz HaChaim, the ability to connect HaKadosh Baruch Hu with a singular form of connection, without any complication, without any shifts or changes, but that singular point of the Yechidah Shebenefesh that continues to exist fundamentally, inherently, and perpetually connected to the absolute infinite light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kavyachol. That's what we could have had, and yes, we still have it, because ultimately the Eitz HaChaim is still present for us. But nevertheless, Vehemu Bikshu Cheshbonos Rabos, but we choose the path of the Eitz Hadas Tovara, the Shinuyim, the Cheshbonos Rabos. The Rebbe in Shar Yichud is masbir this pasuk based on the Seder Eshtalshalos, that be'emes all a person should think about is or ein soif koinam at simsim, and eino ein milvada mamish, and leis asar panimine, and kula kaima kiloi chashive, that everything is as if it doesn't exist, and a Kadosh Baruch Hu never deviated one element from his absolute infinitude that is expressed everywhere. And we could have had his kashas to that, and the secret of Emunah, that's the Malchus, that's Gnuza Beradla. But ultimately, Hema Bikshu Cheshbonos Rabos. We chose Cheshbonos Rabos. Cheshbonos Rabos is the Seder Shtalshalos from Ak down to the Oiris of Akudim, Nekudim, and Berudim, and the Yitzios of the Oiris of Absag, Ben, and the worlds of Adam Kamo, and Atzilus, and the Shvira, and the creation of Bri, Yitzir, and Asiya, and all of the different partsufim that are interacting together to create the Hechalus of those worlds, down to Asiya, Sheba Asiya, into the Asara Klipin of the Klippas Noiga, which the Balatani discusses. That's the Cheshbonos Rabos. All of the maps, all of the locations, all of the trajectory points, and all of the need to travel from one point to another, that is all the result of the Eitz Hadas Tovara. Those are the Cheshbonos Rabos. Vadai Kadein is Hafche Levoyi Bahus Sitra Mamish. As a result of this, as a result of partaking of the Eitz Hadas, of entering into that world of changes and Tamuros, now the Zohar Kodesh says something very powerful. It says, obviously, Vadai Kadein is Hafech Liboy. The heart of the individual was also transformed through this experience. And the heart became a place of chaos. Bahu Sitra Mamish, we connected to that place. Zimnim Natam, Zimnim Labish, Zimnim Larachme, Zimnim Ladina. Times of goodness and times of difficulty, times of compassion and times of judgment. Behind Mila de Isdavekba, in accordance with whatever it's connected to. That the heart is now subject to change. The heart is now subject to the myriad expression of existence in this world. Bikshu Cheshbonis Rabbin. We desired all of these cheshbonos, these rationalizations, and these complications, and the need to create ourselves out of chaos. And we became connected to it. Amar Lei Kudshabrichu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to the individual, Adam Shavtkat Chayiv Istavka Bamusa. You left life and you connected to death. You left the realm of life, of singularity, of connectivity without deviation, and you entered into the realm of changes, the changes which are death to the previous moment. Every shift, every displacement, every moment that the ground beneath our feet upon which we rested our delicate faith, and we continue to choose our delicate faith, our fierce but delicate faith, our unshakable, our unbreakable but delicate faith, when we've chose to enter into a place of Misa, the Misa Salev, where the heart falls, the heart dies. What's Chaim that we left? It was the Eitz Chaim that was centered in the center point of the Gan. It was referred to as Chaim. And someone who was connected to it and someone who is connected to it in the present moment doesn't taste death ever. Is Davkis Bi'ilana Achar, they connected to another tree. Havadai Musa. Chavada, now we're going to receive the experience of Misa. The legs descend down into the realm of death. The kais of matzah ani mar mimaves esa isha. And I found this element of changes, this element of entering into the Eitz Hadas, to be worse than death. Now the Zohar Kadosh is being masbir, the delicate decision that Adam Arishon made, purposely, not purposefully, consciously, unconsciously, by way of necessity, by way of choice, depending on how one looks at it. Ultimately, as the Leshem teaches us, it makes no difference. Naira alila al bnei adam. It happened. It had to happen. If it happened, it had to happen. And if it happened, it was going to happen anyway. And Memela, from that perspective, the Chet of Adam Arishon was a fundamental necessity to the descent of human subjectivity into our current conditions for the sake of cultivating a deeper consciousness of godliness, to come back to the Rabbanu Shalom and say, here, look what we've done with the gift you've given us. You gave us this gift of descent down into concealment, and we come back to you with a riboy gvanim of Kedusha, with svarim mesvarim shoinim, with mitzvos maisim toivim, with tfilos, with hisboidedus, with kashrus to tzadikim and hiskabris over Yeush and overcoming the tendency towards despair every moment of our lives. We come back to the Rabbanu Shalom after being sent down into this death-bringing space of the Eitz Hadas Tov Ra, and we come back to the Sharish of Chaim and we say, we've connected to you not only in a singular way, but we've connected you through multiple ways. We've gone through all of the Drachim, we've gone through all of the Nechalim, we've gone through all of the 12 Shvatim. Yaakov Avinu, the Eitz HaChaim, encounters a descent into 12 separate positions. That's the Eitz HaChaim that breaks down into the Eitz Hadas Tov Ra. But ultimately, at the end, it's a Gilui of Achdus. This Gilui of Achdus that comes about out of the way of the period itself. And so, yes, the Zohar Kadosh is aligning very clearly what the conditions of life are going to be. We are Bale Shinoi. We are subject to the Lahat Acher from Mesapecha, something that we're going to discuss this week, Bezras Hashem, next week in our shir on the inner world of Menucha. The Zohar is very much connected. That's where we live, but the secret is to find the hiskashrus, to the yichidi, to the singularity that rests at the heart of it all. To take all of the shinuyim, all of the gavanim, and bring them back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and realize that each gavan has its own bracha. Each shevet has its own bracha. Each shevet has its own shar into the Beis HaMikdash. Each shevet has its own shar into Yerushalayim. Each neshama, in spite of the fact that it's different and it's no longer singularly connected, and no longer connected to that Eitz HaChaim, it has a way back into Panemius of Yerushalayim. It has the ability of Lirois Betuv Yerushalayim, to see the goodness of Yerushalayim, not only to see the goodness in Mitzrayim, but to have that Shiva Asrei Shana, the goodness of Mitzrayim, because Tov is Gematria 17, and to transform that Tov that Yaakov Avinu uncovered there when we bring the Neshama of the Tzaddikim back to Eretz Yisrael to reveal the goodness in Yerushalayim itself. Where we go from having to reveal goodness from within the changes in the Chashbonos Rabbim of the Eitz Hadas and come back to the Tov B'Yerushalayim, which is the secret of the Hiskashus to the Eitz HaChaim, and not losing any of the vitality or the energy or the strength that the Eitz Hadas offered us with its changes and its effort and all of the felt human experiences, which become so intoxicating in the process towards God in this world. That we carry the energy, we carry the motivation, we carry the shifts and the changes into the Eitz HaChaim, which is the secret of the Tosefes Kishut. It's the Gilui of Chaim specifically from within Misa itself. The secret of Yaakov Avinu Lomes, that yes, there's an Indian of Misa, but it's also Lomes. It's also he didn't die. He died and he didn't die. There's a Chaim that exists, even the descent away from the Eitz HaChaim. But as the Zohar Kadosh is perpetually teaching us, we're already connected to the Eitz HaChaim. Yes, we might be living a perspective of Cheshbonos Rabbos, but Ha'adam Baras, Ha'adam Yashar still exists. It's not two dinim. It's not, you either ate from the Eitz HaChaim, now you chose not to, and you ate from the Eitz Hadas. It's not that, you could have been created Yashar, and now you have Cheshbonos Rabbos. Both are operating at once. Now there's just a new levush, there's a new garment of Cheshbonos Rabbos, or Eitz Hadas Tovara, that covers over the Eitz HaChaim, or the Osas Adam Yashar. And the tachlis of everything is to be megalazai, the fact that V'chi Yaakov Beretz Mitzrayim, that underneath the levushim of the changes and the shifts, and Mebish Letav, Mitav Lebish, and from above to below and below to above, and the rapid shifts and changes that a person goes through in every moment of their lives, and the Heichal Gavanim Mashtanim, that be'emes every rega is being megala a Chaye HaChayim, a secret of Chayim Ad Olam, a secret of Vayichi Yaakov. And this is how the Zohar Kadosh ends this keta, Tachazi la'alma da'asi, but in the future, when we transition back to the Eitz HaChaim, after having gone through the years of the Eitz Hadas, Ksiv ki yemei ha'etz yemei ami. Kimei ha'etz, that the days of my nation are like the days of the tree, the process of this singular tree, the Eitz Hadas and the Eitz HaChaim, as we've said, are the same tree as the Tzaddikim point out. Both of them are in the center of the God. It's a perspectival thing. They're part and parcel of the same thing. And this process from singularity into disunity and from disunity back into a newfound form of singularity, that is the days of the tree are the days of my nation. Kimei ha'etz hahu, dishtamuda bei. Like that tree that a person came to understand, that a person could have understood. And in that time, bala hamavas lenetzach, and death will be swallowed up by eternity. That not just for eternity, but eternity itself, nitzchius, will be niskala at the heart of death, which is the secret of Netzach Yisrael lo yishaker. Netzach Yisrael lo yishaker, that bala hamavas, how is death going to be undone? It's going to be revealed, the nitzchius that exists within it. Umacha Hashem Elokim dimma me'al kol panim. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to remove all of the tears from the faces of Klal Yisrael. V'cherpas amu yasir me'al kol haaretz. And the shame and the pain of the nation is going to be removed from the entirety of the land. The secret of revealing Chaim in all of the Gvanim HaMishtanim in any moment that a person finds themselves in, specifically in the moments of Hargashas HaMisa, specifically in those moments of Mitzrayim, Vayichi Yaakov Beretz Mitzrayim Sheva Asrei Shana, to be Megala, the Eitz HaChaim that rests at the heart of the Eitz Hadas Tevera, to reveal the Yashrus and the Pnimius of the Nekuda Pnimis that is Tamid Mekushat HaKadosh Baruch Hu from within the Cheshbonos Rabbos to Megala HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even within the Cheshbonos Rabbos themselves, even within the Misa, even within the opposite of Chaim, to be Mahapeh Chaim to a Chaye Chaim, to double Chaim, to give us more and more strength, Be'ezras Hashem.